Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I wanted to do my reaction to the gameplay reveal of Star Wars Squadrons. Now Star Wars Squadrons, they showed us some first gameplay of this game. They showed us a trailer for it 2 days ago, which I did a reaction to, and now at EA Play. This was about an hour ago when they did this stream. I saw a little bit of it, and we're going to do kind of a breakdown of it, and I'm going to talk about my thoughts on it and what I think of it. Now, Starfighter Assault is my favorite mode in Battlefront 2, and in Star Wars, I've always loved the space battles, so I'm really looking forward to this game, and we're going to try to break this down and give you guys my best reaction to it, so let's watch this here.
Death Star is gone, but the Imperial fleet is still a threat. Vanguard Squadron.
So this game takes place right after Episode 6, apparently.
This is it, Titan Squadron. Everything we've done has led to this. Finish those Vanguard scum.
This is Star Wars Squadrons. Earn your wings in a single-player story spanning 2 factions.
All stations, fire on that ship!
And master multiplayer battles as a squadron of 5. With the option to...
Okay, well, that right there, that caught me a little bit off guard the first time that I heard it. I don't know if is the multiplayer only going to be limited to 5 versus 5? Is that it? Or is it that there's squads of 5? Multiple squads of 5 on a team, because they don't really tend to explain that here. But if this is only going to be 5 versus 5, that is going to be a step down from Battlefront 2 and Starfighter Assault, where that was 12 versus 12, I believe, and they also had AI fighters. They're probably going to have AI fighters in this as well, but hopefully there's more players than just 5 versus 5 on here.
Play the entire game in VR. This is the definitive Star Wars pilot experience.
Come on, come on!
You'll begin your career in a single-player story,
Welcome to Titan Squadron.
where you'll play as 2 combat pilots, flying for both the Empire and the New Republic.
I'm much more interested in the Imperial campaign.
You'll experience this world through your cockpit. The instrumentation in front of you provides critical feedback about power management.
So in this game, they are taking lessons from Battlefront 2, because the first-person mode in Battlefront 2 for starships really sucked, and there was really no purpose to it. Almost no one uses first-person mode in starships in Battlefront 2, just nobody did it. So in this game, it looks like first-person mode, you're going to be in that at all times. It doesn't seem like there's a third-person mode, I could be wrong on that, but from this gameplay, they just showed us first-person. And unlike in Battlefront 2, the first-person modes, all the things that are inside the cockpit here, these are actually useful things. You have sensors here, which this looks like a map, shows you this is probably the objective here. Red dots are probably enemies. The white dots are probably allies. Speed, throttle, shows how fast you are going. Power management, that's a new thing, so it looks like, you know, you're gonna have to balance the amount of power your ship uses. I'm not sure how that's going to work exactly. Combat display, this is probably going to show, just like, you know, in Episode 4 where we saw from Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, where he was about to kill Luke, and we saw like this where he was locking onto the X-Wing. So this is kind of maybe like a little screen here of what you are locking on to, who you're going after. Components, these are kind of like the perks, I'm assuming, and these are gonna, you know, give you different abilities, and you can choose from 50 of these, I believe, in the game. Laser charge, this is probably how fast you're shooting, and if you can overheat. And ship status indicator, which is pretty much like your health bar right here, so he's at 100 health here.
Targeting and shields. With a squadron of diverse characters at your side, prove your skills on increasingly challenging missions.
Hello, Vanguard. Welcome to the...
Now this looks like Hera right here from Star Wars Rebels. Now if anybody has seen Star Wars Rebels, this looks very similar to Hera. Let's see if we can get a better shot of this here. A little bit.
With a squadron of diverse characters at your side, prove your skills on increasingly challenging missions.
Hello, Vanguard.
Yes, this looks like Hera, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think this is Hera from this TV show Star Wars Rebels, and she was a pretty big pilot in the Star Wars Rebels TV show, so she's probably going to show up as a supporting character for the Rebellion here. I wonder if we're going to have any Imperial characters. We'll have to see on that. Any Imperial characters from past Star Wars, games, movies, even, comics or TV shows.
Welcome to the Nadiri dockyards.
One of my spies has linked the attacks with the New Republic Starhawk project.
The story of the two pilots you play
Stick together.
will shape the balance of power in the galaxy.
Get ready.
Let him have it.
So I wonder, how this is going to work exactly. Are we going to be able to decide at the end which side wins? Because we're going to be playing both Rebellion and Empire. So are both our characters going to end up fighting each other? We're gonna have to see how that works out. I just hope that they don't turn it into another Battlefront 2 thing where you switch sides. From the Imperial, you just jump to the Rebellion, and you just say, oh, the Empire's bad, we're going to join up with the Rebellion. I hope that the Imperial campaign, because that's the one I'm the most interested in, because there's so many games where we already play as the Rebellion. I'm really interested in seeing a game where we play as an Imperial through and through till the very end, so I really hope there's no defection. If anything, the Imperial character, because the Imperials are going to end up losing this, we know from Star Wars lore, if anything, I would much rather the Imperial character die at the end instead of just changing sides to the Rebellion.
To take the fight online, you'll need flight time with all 8 ships. Fighters are the most...
Now, this, I was a little bit confused by this, because when they were saying all 8 ships, I thought that there was 8 classes of ships, which I was a little bit impressed by at first, but it doesn't appear to be that way. We have the fighter, we have the interceptor, the bomber, and then the supporter, so there is one for each. So there's 2 fighters, 2 interceptors, 2 bombers, and 2 support, so that's 8 ships in total, 4 ships for each side.
Flexible and versatile, able to handle any situation. Interceptors are fast and highly maneuverable.
Let's get them.
Ideal for hunting down your opponent's starfighters.
That was kind of fun.
Support ships can keep allies safe and stocked up.
Now the support ships, this is something that's completely new. How you can help your allies. It's kind of like a ship that boosts your allies. That's something different. We didn't really have that in Battlefront 2. We had the other 3 classes, but we didn't have this here. But I think that this is probably going to be the least played class. I think the support one, because whenever people are going to play, people are going to want to bomb things and kill people. They're not really going to want to help out their teammates. I understand the support can also take out other fighters, but for a class that helps out other people, I really hope they do something to encourage people to play as this class, because I'm all for it. I don't mind a class that benefits other ships, that helps, your team out that way, maybe increases their health, helps out their shield, stuff like that, but you gotta make more a big incentive to play it as well.
As well as disrupting enemy fighters.
Light 'em up. Nice.
Bombers are the heavy hitters, able to deal devastating damage to enemy flagships and starfighters.
Now, this is what I liked, the bombers. Now, this is about the bombers. And I've noticed here that the stats on the ships appear to be a little bit different. It looks like the Imperial TIE here has a little bit more firepower than the Y-Wing. And it looks like this one's a little bit faster, but the toughness is more on the Y-Wing. And it seems like each class and this is a good idea, that even though you have bombers, you have fighters, that both factions, each of their class of ships is a little bit different. So it's good that they're not just a generic copy off each other with a little bit of cosmetic changes. But moving on to the bomber, what I like about the bomber is that the bomber is able to finally bomb. I like that, because this reminds me a lot of Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original one in 2005. The bombers could actually bomb in that one. And in Battlefront 2, what we had in 2017, the bombers couldn't really bomb. They could fire blasters, they had proton torpedoes, but they didn't really drop bombs, so I do definitely really like that change.
If you've got a preferred component and need something customized, I'll take care of it.
Unlock everything you need to customize.
So here we got our
your pilots and
customization.
starfighters simply by playing the game.
This I like a lot too, because I didn't think that we were going to be able to customize our pilot. I assumed that we were going to be able to customize our ships, but we're able to customize our pilot. I do really like that. And apparently our our pilot is going to be the main person in the cutscenes as well, so I wonder how that's going to work, you know, all the different combinations of, you know, characters that we can create. I just hope that, you know, they're able to speak, that, you know, they just don't stand there in the background, don't say anything. I hope they also speak in the campaign. We'll have to see on that.
From cosmetics to an arsenal of over 50 components that alter how your ships.
So this right here, this is all the components, and this looks similar to kind of like star cards in Battlefront 2, tactical shield, targeting jammer, targeting beacon. So there's only a certain amount that you can choose, and I'm assuming you unlock different ones as you level up here, but you're gonna have to carefully choose which ones you want to put on your ship. Laser cannon, rotary cannon, ion cannon, concussion missile, proton torpedo. So there's all different kinds. Propulsion engine, there's speed ones, there's weapon ones, there's health ones, reinforced hull. So we'll have to decide, and probably my guess is, like, here we have light hull and then reinforced hull. My guess is reinforced hull gives you more armor, but probably affects your agility and your speed, so it probably affects the handling. Light hull will increase your handling and will increase your speed, but will probably make you more vulnerable. So there's pros and then there's cons to each one, so I do like the idea of that.
Fly, fight, and survive.
They're on you!
I'll deal with it.
You can dramatically change your loadout depending on your squadron's strategy. Finally got him. This will be critical in Star Wars Squadrons multiplayer modes. First up, dogfights. This is an all-out 5v5 battle.
So like I was saying about the 5 vs 5, you know, 5 vs 5, you know, are there going to be AI ships in this? Because if we're just limited to 5 vs 5, is, you know, this really jumped out to me. Because, like, what I was seeing from this gameplay reveal, I really liked this. But when they said 5 vs 5, that kind of really jumped out to me. And not in a good way. That, you know, Battlefront 2, you know, I don't want to keep comparing the game to Battlefront 2, but, you know, that was the closest thing that we've had to ship combat recently, and there we had 12 vs 12 and plenty of AI, but here we're just limited to 5 vs 5. I don't know if they're gonna have AI, but, you know, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Are you fine with 5 vs 5? Like, if the gameplay is really, really good, then I guess okay, but if you're gonna limit it to 5 vs 5, the gameplay has to be really, really good and really fun. But let me know what you guys think of that specifically in the comments.
Fine-tune your loadouts to work as a team.
Moving in on the enemy.
Utilize components like tractor beams, turrets, and mines to slow down
I wonder how the turrets will work on that.
your opponents or set up your squad mates for the kill.
Rebels unmarked.
For teams looking for an even greater challenge, it's time to prove yourself in Star Wars Squadrons' signature mode, Fleet Battles. Fleet battles are multi-stage conflicts. Whether playing solo or with friends, you'll have the option to compete against other players or AI as a squadron of 5.
Don't worry, I got him for you.
Meet your team in the social hub to solidify strategy, coordinate loadout.
This social hub thing, I'm just very curious on how exactly that is going to work, what we're going to be doing in the social hub, because the trailer tells us, you know, meet up with your squad mates and plan this out, but, you know, if you're playing with your close friends, you know, you can probably plan this out, but playing games like this with randoms, like most games like this that require teamwork, we know that if you try to communicate with them, you try to plan something out, oftentimes people aren't going to listen and work together, and that oftentimes leads to, like, you know, teams just being dominated and destroyed. So we'll have to see how this works, and are we able to, like, walk around the hangar? Is there more to that than just the ship, or is there going to be, like, a first-person mode walking around the hangar as well? Because we saw, like, the pilots were kind of like around the middle there, like around the briefing area. Any word on, like, walking around the ship? I guess we'll probably see more of that in the coming weeks.
And prepare for takeoff. First, push the front line by winning the dogfight in the center of the map. Next, attack or defend 2 medium-sized capital ships.
So this is very similar to Battlefront 2's, the original one, where you have to take out the 2...
ultimate goal. Target and destroy the subsystems of your opponent's massive flagship and take it down.
Shields are disabled.
At each phase, your squadron either pushes the line forward or falls back to defend.
Keep our flagship safe.
It's your squadron's choice of how to play.
I'm hit!
Speedy, unrelenting assaults.
Stay together, strike quickly.
Stealth and subversion.
jamming the enemy. Sensors can't spot you.
Or brutal bombardment.
That ship is vulnerable. Take your shot.
We need to hurry.
A
I do like the
unified
first-person mode a
squadron
lot.
is the key to victory.
Making my attack run now. Let's make this count.
This is Star Wars Squadrons. Join the galaxy's finest and make your mark.
You are the hope of this galaxy.
So it's launching in October. Now this game could be a success, or it could go really bad. And like they were saying in that mode there at the end, where we had the fleet battles. Now that was very similar to Battlefront 2, the original one in 2005, where you had kind of like the dogfight in the middle. You had the two medium-sized capital ships that you could blow up, and then you had to start blowing up like the parts of the main capital ship. And looks kind of similar here, but the difference was that you could land in the enemy's hangar also and fight inside the ship. I doubt they'll let us do that. This is probably just going to be focused on just piloting and just piloting. I like that it's set during the Galactic Civil War. You know, that's my personal favorite time in Star Wars, and I'm a very big fan of the TIE Fighters, so TIE Fighters I like a lot, so I'm really excited to see this game. Looks like we only have two modes, the dogfight mode and the fleet squadron. Have to see how that works exactly. I remember the guy was talking a little bit about co-op, also being able to play against AI, so I guess we'll probably see more of this in the coming weeks. We'll probably get more trailers of this. Game's coming out in, you know, basically 3.5 months, so really excited for this. I've always wanted, you know, a Star Wars space combat game. Well, we've had them in the past, but we haven't had a Star Wars space combat game focused specifically on that in some time. I'm happy it's not another Jedi game, so really excited to see this game, see how it launches. But there's three concerns that I have about this game. The first one, the campaign, like I told you, I don't want, like, you know, Empire, where you just halfway through the campaign just defect the rebellion. Please don't do that. And also, decently long campaign. Don't do a 3-4 hour campaign. You know, maybe do 6, 7, 8 hour campaign. Second, the 5 vs 5. Little concerned with that. You know, is that going to be enough? But let me know what you guys think of that. And 3, looks like we only have 2 modes. We have the dogfight and then the fleet battles. Are we going to have more modes than that? But let me know what you guys think of this game. I am excited for this game. If you guys enjoyed my reaction, my breakdown, drop a like. If you're new to my channel, enjoy my content, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.